Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's CITI program webinar. Today's topic is nuts and bolts of running a virtual IRB meeting, and it is presented by Dr. Angela Brock. Now, let me tell you about today's presenter. Angela began her career as a business school administrator that found that what she loved most was the teaching and research that were then a small part of her role. Ultimately, she returned to school and earned a PhD in industrial and organizational psychology. Angela has been an IRB chair for a solely virtual IRB for 7 years. In addition to her IRB role, she also teaches research and psychology courses at Capella University.
In the context of moving your IRB meetings immediately to the virtual space, our goal today is to address the following learning objectives. To understand virtual IRB meetings and their benefits, especially in times of emergencies. To discuss how to develop a format or script for running a virtual meeting. We'll describe how to document a virtual meeting in the IRB meeting minutes. Identify additional considerations for meeting regulatory requirements in a virtual convened meeting. Identify key players in running virtual meetings and best ways to engage them. Identify how virtual meetings may fit with the emergency disaster plans and when those plans are implemented. So some key players and key relationships. There are the usual suspects, the membership of the full board, the IRB staff, specialists, and institutional officials. The working relationships that are or were present in an on-campus environment may shift when focused to online. For example, that confident, very vocal member might become wary of speaking up in a virtual space. And the pace and the frequency of meetings may shift in our COVID-19 focused world. Standing meetings, for example, may be supplemented with as-needed additional meetings. Because this may be new to everyone, the role of the IRB chair is to establish a tone that's both commanding of the virtual space and considerate of the noviceness of the IRB members. Familiar on-campus relationships may shift or not translate well initially when they move off campus, particularly in light of the current situation. At Capella, we've asked all full board members to be on call to assemble quickly using our standard meeting format for a rapid review of amendments as they come in. We've developed some standard guidance for amendments for research or activities that are designated as minimal risk research to allow for expeditious review of those modifications and amendments. Each school within our university has provided research design guidance for COVID-19 appropriate design modifications. The risks of virtual recruitment, consent, and data collection are being assessed by the full board on a case-by-case basis. Capella's goal is to keep research moving while protecting participants in the new world health environment. So, a model for a virtual meeting. I suggest that you create a predictable, structured meeting format that follows the regulatory components of 45 CFR 46. So a brief example of a virtual review would look like this. In a virtual meeting, the chair serves the role of discussion facilitator and discussion summarizer. Using the structure of 45 CFR 46-111, the review commences. It begins with questions like, are there issues related to the design of the study in the context of risks and potential benefits of the study? Are there issues related to recruitment and selection of participants? Are there issues with the informed consent document and process? And so on. After each review item is discussed and addressed, the chair summarizes the discussion, even occasionally noting who made a certain point, and the list of items to be included in the discussion letter. When it is clear the committee is ready to vote on the motion for the study, the question is called and a roll call vote is taken. Let's run through a quick example of a fictitious virtual review study. The study in front of us is for a review of Samantha Jones's study entitled the experiences of microaggression and depression among young African American millennial employees during their first year of work after college. In the study, we found that there is a lack of alignment between the research question and the guiding interview questions, such that the data elicited will not answer the research questions. Carroll noted that the misalignment diminishes the potential benefit of the study, resulting in a risk that outweighs benefits at this time. The design of the study needs revision to allow for answering the research question. Lou pointed out that the recruitment flyer and informed consent document have disparate inclusion criteria. The inclusion and exclusion criteria should be the same in all participant-facing documents. Randall noted the term of microaggression is not defined in any participant-facing materials and should be clearly articulated in layperson language for clarity for those considering their eligibility to participate in this study. The researcher has indicated that the study is a minimal risk study in her participant-facing materials. The designation is greater than. In summary, running your IRB meetings virtually is not only feasible, it may be necessary during this U.S. health crisis. Management of virtual meetings isn't that different from managing any meeting. The format discussed is similar to a format used in person. However, there may be some growing pains due to the immediate need to make this shift. Documenting a virtual meeting is similar to documentation for an in-person meeting. All regulatory requirements are followed in a virtual meeting, just like in person. A couple of final thoughts. It might be useful to create a script to follow for your meetings using that 45 CFR 46111 document as a guideline. It's a great starting point. Sharing that script or format with the full board in a first training meeting with a single study to start things off could be a good idea. Don't take on too much in that first meeting. Virtual meetings require such intense focus that they can be exhausting. Meeting more frequently for more manageable time chunks, at least at first, is a good best practice. Give yourself some latitude for goof-ups. Even after 7 years, I still goof up. Happily, the collegiality that's developed amongst our full board has led to a good-natured group that allows me an awful lot of grace.
We encourage everyone watching this webinar to monitor the CITI program's website for additional information about future webinars, available on-demand recordings of past webinars, and our new all-access webinar package.